Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody, and welcome to Crosswrap webinar. I am Martta Kivelä, and I will be your host with...
I'm Kalle Kivelä. I will be doing the part of this webinar.
So, very warm welcome to our webinar about Crosswrap board packaging line. Today, we will go through this webinar. First, few general points. So, during the webinar, if you have any questions concerning the part we are talking about or concerning something else, in your GoToWebinar toolbox, you have a question part where you can put your questions up to us, and we will answer to the questions after our presentation, or depending on the time, if we use the full hour, we will come back to you personally to answer your questions. So, a little bit about the structure of the webinar. Now we will be presenting first the company just briefly, then we will be talking about adding the value to the product with Crosswrap board packaging, and that part I will be doing, talking a bit about sustainable packaging and so on. And then Kalle will take it over and tell about adding value and profit with Crosswrap board packaging to the production itself. So please enjoy the webinar. I will close up our camera for a bit and see you after we have presented these points. So without further ado, let's get started. So briefly about Crosswrap as a company. So Crosswrap has over 25 years experience in engineering, manufacturing, and selling machinery to the recycling industry, to the paper industry, and to the wood and board packaging industry. We hold patents to all of our solutions, and we are based in Finland since 1994. Today we have the deliveries in over 60 countries and around 600 deliveries. As said, I am Martta Kivelä. I take care of the Italian market, and I do help out Kalle with the North American market, especially the west coast of North America. Then Kalle can tell a bit what he's doing in the company.
Yeah, well, I do the sales in North America and Ireland, UK, New Zealand, South Africa, and then I do some help for the people on their sales and technical side. I have been in the business since 30 years and been in a first out in a service and installing, training, and so on. And of course, saying about Martta, she was born in the same year as my first patent for cross-wrapping, so he's fully familiar with the system.
And if somebody is wondering why we have the same last name, it's because I am following the footsteps of my father now for 3 years in the sales. So let's get started to the main topic of the day. Firstly, as said, let's talk about adding value to the product. From our perspective, quality product needs quality packaging. Let's think a little bit. What does your packaging tell about your product at the moment? And then we could think, what would we want it to tell about your product? All right, so let's go through a bit functions of the package. So in our minds, package should add value to your product. When we have quality boards, we need quality packaging that protects the quality board so that we are responsible and we are keeping the promise to our customers, supplying the goods undamaged and in good shape to our customers. At the same time, we would like that the package can inform, communicate, and present everything inside of the package. If we look at these packages, which are not cross-wrapped and presenting alternative ways of packaging, what do we think? Does this inform the customer of our quality product? Does it present the quality boards that we are so preciously manufacturing? Or does it communicate the values, branding, and image of your company? I would say maybe not. How about these ones? So here we have cross-wrap packaging. First of all, the products are completely protected. When we do six-side cross-wrapping, we protect the boards with a durable package with the protection from moisture, water, dust, any external causes. At the same time, when we look at the package, it presents what is inside of the package. We clearly see the product and we know what's in it. Also, with the automatic paper labeling that goes in between the layers of plastic, we can have the information that helps the people handling the package from the factory until the end user. Also, it presents all useful information that the manufacturer can choose what to put in it. Beauty also of this package is that we have different sizes, we have different products manufactured in our factory, still the outlook of the package is the same and it falls under our brand and under our image, like you can see from the logos in these packages. But without further ado, let's have a look at a video where we see the handling, how easy it's to handle the packages, and how user-friendly it is and how durable also. So these packages come from Russia and are exported to US. As you can see, the container is packed in an efficient way. Some of the stacks are sideways and some are in a normal position. but the space is used really efficiently. Then when we want to turn the package that has been sideways, we can just flip it with a forklift, which you cannot do with a package with only straps or cardboard or manually wrapped with plastic, with film, sorry. And as you can see, these packages exported from Russia to US don't need any corner protections or straps. So wrap it right and wrap it tight, as we say it in Crosswrap. Back to the presentation. So then we will have a look at the 3 aspects of sustainability. First aspect, the social responsibility. So, as we mentioned before, part of social responsibility is the promise that we make to the customer. We make the quality promise of our quality product that has to arrive to the customer undamaged. With Crosswrap stretch film, 6-side stretch film packaging, we can do that. And the quality stays equal 24/7 running in 24/7 running operation. On the left side of this slide, we can see the alternative packaging that is tied with strap. For the user experience, the strap means a safety issue within handling and transporting, because if we have a slightest damage in the tying of the strap, that means that the package is already unsafe to handle. Also, the point of view of opening these packages, the opening of the strap, plastic strap, and not to even mention if we have a metal strap, is a dangerous process. Compared to the stretch film, when the stretch film is opened, it is safe and easy to do. Like in the middle, we have a picture of a warehouse with cross-wrapped packaging. You can safely storage the packages even as high as that, because the stretch film keeps the boards together and it keeps the package durable at all times. Then in the right side, we see a picture of a shelf from a hardware store where are 3 of our packages on the top shelf, middle, and on the floor level. So on the floor level, there's no problem of keeping that on the floor level because it is completely protected from dust on the floor level. Then on the second level, it's completely safe to handle, even though somebody has already taken a few boards from the package. And in the most top shelf, we have a package that they have taken most of the boards already, but still, since the stretch film is complete in the lower boards, it is safe to handle and lift to the top shelf. Then we come to the second aspect of sustainability, which is environmental responsibility, that we at Crosswrap take really seriously, since our second industry where we provide solutions is recycling and plastic recycling indeed. So here we have two different packaging options again. On the left side, there's an alternative package option, and right side we see the durable cross-wrap packaging. So if we start to look at the materials used for these packages, in the left side, if we have a look, so we have film that is most likely done manually. You can see that it's not optimized, the use is not optimized, it's not stretched, and when it's not stretched, the amount that you use is more, but the protection is less. Then we have, in this case, we have the bottom skids, but in some cases also they use the pallets that even increases the packaging material. Because when the packaging is done manually, some may believe that the pallet brings more stability for the stack. Then we have the plastic or metal straps, creating a third material stream already from the point of recycling, and also, as we discussed before, safety issues within the handling of the package. Then we have to protect the corners, since the stretch film is not optimized and the stretch is not making the package durable like in cross-wrap packaging. Then if we want to do labeling for this one, we have to use sticker labels. So that is hazardous waste because of the glue. So that makes this package not recyclable. Then on top of all this, we normally some may use in this alternative packaging the cover boards. Then if we think about cross-wrap packaging, for the environmental side, we use stretch film. We will go to the optimization in a bit, but the stretch film is 100% recyclable, and we have been already doing testing with a plastic film that is made out of recycled plastics. And then we have the bottom skids. So when we talk about green packaging and environmental packaging, it is important to think where the ingredients come from, where the materials come from, and where they can go after the package is opened. And as you can see in this option on the left side, we have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different recycling streams. When in cross-wrap packaging, we have to have 2, and if we want to put also the labeling here, Kalle will explain in a bit how it's done, but the label is pure paper. So every factory, every client, or in most of the countries, we have the paper recycling, and that's the most basic recycling we do. So cross-wrap ingredients are 100% recyclable. So other thing is that how much we have to use the packaging materials. So this is partially economical, third point of sustainability, but also partially about the environmental point. If we start from the pictures below, as said, all of our wrapping is programmable. So, for example, in the case of the picture on the left corner, this is a package from our client from Finland that the material is going just few kilometers or 10-15 kilometers from the factory. So they have put only the plastic around the bottom skids, saving material. Well, the next option is if we have like a national transport or short transport within Europe or within US, for example, we can do only the vertical wrapping. As you can see, even in this one, we already cover the corners really well. So the boards are protected, but at the same time, we save material and of course we save in packaging cost. Then third option on the right corner, we have the Crosswrap 6-side export package. So when we are exporting, we need the maximum protection for our boards to provide the quality products to our customers that we respect a lot. So in the pictures up, we can see how many layers we have in which part of the package. As we can see, where we have the most layers, where we have the bottom skids, so that the skid stays on place. Then we have good protection on each corner, and on the blue and green parts, we do not need that much protection. We need film there that it will be airtight, it will be waterproof and weatherproof. So if we send our packages to -20 or +30 or with moisture percent of more than 50, the product will be absolutely fine and good. So I made a small summary of all these aspects that we have been talking: quality packaging and sustainability. So starting from the left, we have again alternative packaging method, not cross-wrapped. So let's see the materials used in this. So we have the bottom skids / pallet. We have straps, we have film, which use is not optimized. We need corner protections, cover boards, and the sticker labor causing hazardous waste. So 6 different materials. And we can see from top that is not the most sustainable package. Recycling value is low, and recycling process is quite challenging with so many materials. Making this package takes time. Also, opening this package takes time, lowering the customer experience. Also, these materials do cost. Every single material has a cost. Then we have the risk of getting reclamations from our customers and disappointing the customer because of damaged goods and getting reclamations and letting down our quality promise that we have once made of the quality boards that should have been delivered to the customer. Also, this process is not completely automated. So then a second alternative option, not Crosswrap. We get more or less the same materials, except the plastic used is a bit different. It's like a plastic cover or plastic hood, some call it. So that is not weatherproof and not waterproof, and especially if we have the products, the boards coming from the production with a bit of heat on them. If we put the hood on directly, or if we have an environment where there is moisture, we get a greenhouse effect inside of the package, which again damaged the goods. So the same things, recycling value is low and the process is challenging. This is time consuming because this is a partially manual process. We use money for the partial manual process and all of these materials. The reclamations are a risk because the package is not tight in all ends. You cannot flip this kind of a package as we saw in the previous video, and it's not automated process. All right, last but definitely the winner is the Crosswrap packaging. Maximum of 3 materials, bottom skids, film, which is 100% recyclable, and also now we are doing the testing with plastic film that is made out of recycled material. So the recycling value is good. The time used for the packaging is the packaging is completely automated, not manual time used. We are saving in the material costs and labor costs. We get good feedback from the customer since we are clearly informing, communicating with our packaging, and the customer experience of the package is good. And most of all, in the process, it's fully automated. All right, that was my side of this presentation. Next, we will go to the adding value to the production, and about this, Kalle will take it over.
All right. Well, here we have in a picture a few wrapping lines showing like fully lined that the package come by forklift or it comes direct from the production. We are able to do different size of the packages with the same line automatically. It means cost savings, labor savings, and cheaper cost, which is of course profit. And then the automatization of course means that your labor cost is really low, that there's a one person working on this kind of line handling everything. Line is today full electric, which is it's low electric consumption, and then it's low maintenance means, of course, the low costs on using this kind of line. Remote access has been in our machines since 2013, which means that we are able to serve wherever you are, like we are in 60 countries and serving a lot of people 24/7 operation. That we see that important. We don't sell our machines without that connection, because our machines are made for it, and we can serve our customer by that line. And today we have been concentrating a lot having the machine user friendly, because we have seen that the operators come and goes, and the line has to be easy to operate, which is of course important by the company, that you can keep packaging even the people are chasing. And of course this line needs only one person, that it's not laying on a bunch of people doing the packages. And well, achieving the experience on after sales team, it's from long run, and we are really experienced to serve everybody wherever you are in the world. But let's look at video out from how this system works. As mentioned before, I mean, we can do a line. And mentioned before, we can make a line which is coming direct from the production. We have make lines that we pick up the different packages from 3, 4, or 5 different production lines, because the line can do everything automatically. It doesn't matter which kind of package is coming. It will automatically measure the package, take that further onto the production. Like in this case, this package is now measured automatically by line, and this is the guy who runs the whole process on packaging. The machine itself is choosing what kind of and what length of supports, beams, bottom skids called, you are putting under, and we can choose how many of we have those. You can choose that where they are, if you want to put 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can choose that if you put them how many you put in different length of the packages and where they are. And it's safety, of course, because it's inside of the fencing, and machine is doing that automatically. That's one part of our strategy and idea, is that the safety comes first in all this packaging, because long as we take the machine in our line, everything happens inside of the safety fencing, that you don't go to the areas where the package is moving or going. There we see the one package already in a production, and next one is coming in. The conveyor, we call it, which is between here now, it's the first wrapping conveyor, where we have weighing system if it's needed. And if the weighing system is there, then this label already has the weight of the package and other information. That label comes from, in this case, it's just A3 paper, comes from the normal printer, and that can be the information for that. You can just provide from your system that we have that information there. So that and then when the label is inside of the package, then we put the cover last final wrapping on it, that the paper label will be inside of those last layers, and it's visible, and you can read it, and you can read it by if there's a code or something, then this couple layers of film which are highly stretched doesn't bother the reading of. label and marks. So then when the package comes from the production, there's in a first step when it's measuring the package and then finding the place where it starts. We put the film over the corners and in underneath the first support kit, and then it goes further, and here we put the extra layer after the second one. The machine is recognizing where those supports are, that that the film comes in the right places, and we optimizing that where the film is used and how much we use. All this can be programmed, and there's different recipes that for different materials you can use a different amount of film, that you don't waste the film, but other way around, you have enough protection for the package that it can be safely stored, moved, delivered to the customer, and you will have your valuable product will be even better when it ends up to the customer. That has actually been tested, that like example in plywood or other wood-based boards, that the moisture content in a package will level on when it's stored on cross-wrapping. Example in veneer, it's nice when it's leveled and every single veneer package is the same. As I see, it is the same after staying in our package. Here you see the container, how this one is packed. You did see that how you unload it, but yeah, we can do those turning packages as you saw there. Okay, let's check that process again once more, that easily, that the first step, we can make those conveyors that it comes far as the packaging. Here we have had the line that it's coming in, and the package is measured, and this bottom gets feeding is done. On this conveyor where it goes there, we will make the weighing for this package too. So well, we have an option for semi-automatic skid feeding too, that if the volume is low, and the same person can do the skid feeding manually, and it can be done in a process. Well, then we have a second, the first wrapping cycle, we saw that already once, that when it starts and done, but that's protecting the corners and taking the skids under, and it's done in a first step. Then we go for the second step, where we do horizontal wrapping, which will protect the corners again, and there will be overlapping in the corners to protect that against the moisture. But one more thing which is really important here, that we call it this cross-wrapping 3D, which means that we have first vertical, and now we make it horizontal, meaning that there's a vertical layer underneath the horizontal that films ties up on the side, and at the same time, example in a program here, that we add a couple layers of vertical, the horizontal. We can do example the tunnel grooves without any extra protection, what our customer has been doing for years and millions of cubic meters, very successful. Then next part is the labeling. Here you see the labeling unit, which is putting a bigger label on it. That happens so that there's a big label with example companies, logos and stuff like that, and then you put a second smaller label on that on the same paper, out up to the same paper, and then it's put it to the package, which is easy way to make your product looking more as for your company profile is good for. And then we are finishing the package with the vertical last layer, which is the part of the 3D, an important part that the package will withstand all the handling and this moisture and so on, because the third vertical layer will make a cross-wrapping on site, which, like example, now when we have a high cross-wrapping on site, the package wants to remain in the same shape. That it's very important for the transporting the packages, which you can't get this kind of advantage from any other packing system. So, adding a value in a production. Here you see a one production line where the packages are coming from two conveyor lines direct from the production without any forklifts on the way. And there's a one person looking after the machinery. Right now, he seems to be sitting there and waiting for that the machines do the work. The packages are coming in. They are. We make a weighing. We put these beams underneath, bottom skids. We put the label, and then it goes automatically out from the door, which is behind there, to the storage where it can be picked up. Huge saving, environmental things, and only one people, not a lot of stuff, and then there's no forklift hassling and any danger for the operators. So that's part of our idea. What is new today is that the whole system is electric, and that means of course it's quicker, it's more precise, it's safer, less maintenance, and it's a simple design. It makes us the whole thing more simple and stronger and cost effective, meaning less costs for you. There's just a few examples what we have done in a latest machine. On the right, I will have to point out that of course the main thing is the stretching unit, which makes the film stretching, and of course how and where the film is put, it's important. The 3D cross-wrapping system is the only system which can give that kind of withstanding for the package as we do today, and where we have got our reputation having the best package in the market. And I mean, there's a lot of customers who prefers this one, as some in Mexico and some in US and so on, that they like to have only Crosswrap packages and hope that you can serve them in the future. But the example, the stretching unit here, it's very simple, strong, and it's fixed that you can't change these gears. It will keep and done the work year after year. One other thing where we have been concentrating on development on an experience is the seaming unit, cut, hold, welding. Everybody who is in a packaging business and works with any film cutting, holding, or welding systems, you know that that's the most place where the service is needed on that area. This a new system what we have, it's of course controlled by our program, and it's pneumatic cylinders, and it has the main function there is it's run by those sliding bearings, very heavy ones, and then there's fluid muscles, and it's very simple construction, meaning that this kind of lasts for 1 million cubic meters in those main parts. And I can say that this is it's a top of the range in business on having a most reliable unit in a market. This one actually example, and most of those stuff we can upgrade the old machines, and that's one of our thing is that we like to serve our existing customers, and we can upgrade them with our development, which we have got our development through our customers who has been driving already millions of cubic meters of those different kind of boards. There's machines which has wrapped already over 2 million cubic meters. Then I would like to point out that in electricity, we have moved to the centralized system that on the left you have kind of conventional electric system that, you know, all the cables come from the main control unit and they go for the sensors, inverters, and oscillators and movements. But today we have only a few cables and they go to the main inverter box where we take them out for sensors and so on, which means that it looks like this today. One advantage here is that, example, installing the machine, you just have to have a electric guy for the main electric, but all these, they are connected by plugs, which are industrial plugs, and you just put them in and that's it, and you can't make mistakes on those, and the connection is better than man-made on every single connections, and cables are better protected, it's easier to follow, it gives us more possibilities on remote control, that it's just piece of art today, but it gives you an advantage. It's easier, it's safer, and it's costless on service-wise, and it's easy to check what's happening, that if there's anything going wrong. So today we have been moving already years back to, well, we have been always with Siemens, but we have Siemens S7 1500 serial today, which has given us more precise programming. It's a faster, and of course it's the latest model which will stand again years, and it's giving you a benefit on having that in a long run. Example here is that like a bottom skids feeding, this is what we did have before. You have a push buttons there where you can just move the skid feeder somewhere, but we move it to the this kind of screen, which is a touch screen where you have everything available, that it's visible. You can run the conveyors and you can run the bottom skid feeder there, and it's easy to run. It's just visible. You can change the language for yourself, and from the same box you can choose the programs that where and how many skids you will put it in different places. Of course, we have that different programs there that, you know, that which you can put to the memory, that it puts different skids in different places. But that's, of course, it's valuable because you will use only the skids you need. And when you are putting the skids on, our skids doesn't have to be length of the package, meaning that you're saving on those costs too, because they are shorter, and because they are underneath the wraps, you can use the materials which you can't use in a case that they are not protected. Think about it, using some skids which will be lower cost, that will be an extra saving on your packaging. There's this our screen today, which is very visible, shows you most of the things, shows where the package is traveling on a machine, and the push buttons below, they are on screen, that they are not built in anywhere else, that you can just do everything from this screen. And help desk is quite large here, that we have been concentrating on making it easy for the end users to operators to use it. Example here, you have a drives that you can run the different conveyors to different ways, or you can run a couple of the conveyors by pushing first the chain there. Adding the value in production on a cost-wise, that what does it cost to do cross-wrap packing? Well, it's quite low. I mean, the film costs today 1.5 up to €2 or less. And what you do there is that you use 1 kilo, or depends on your material. It can be less. I mean, it could be 700, 800 grams for 6-side wrapping, up to a little bit over a kilo. When you have a high-end product, which is really slippery with the film boards. But everything is programmed. You can program, and like you can go down to half a kilo per cubic meter on some programs. Electric consumption is very low, and here you have to think about it, that if you do it manually, how many forklifts you have running in area, how many people you have there, and how much space you need. That here it's just a short part of your footprint is small, and it just comes through the packaging line and it's done, it goes out. Maintenance cost is very low because of course our thanks for our construction and the heavy made packaging system is that we'll say that it's lowest in the market on that way. And then it's just the greasing and check the sensors, and that's about it almost. Here's the example of Svesa. They did purchase, we did install 4 machines for them. They have been very successfully using those, and their customers likes our package, and they are saving a lot of costs on doing this kind of package, as we were talking earlier, that you can see in a down picture that there's still some of the old type of package where you use these cover boards, which means quite a lot of cost if you think about it, using like 400 mil high package with cover boards. Compared to that, you can do the same thing going to the 800 high, and only with film. That will be a lot of cover boards which could be sold. So we have a machinery today in around the world, and we are happy to serve you too.
So thank you, Kalle. Here is once more our contact information. So Kalle taking care of North America, New Zealand and UK. Then our head of sales, Heikki Jyrkinen, he takes care of Asia and Australia. Then Luba Stepanova taking care of Russia and Russian-speaking countries. She is a native Russian speaker as well. Then we have Ville-Pekka Parkkinen taking care of Benelux, France, Spain, and some other European countries. Then we have Eetu Laatikainen taking care of German-speaking countries. He also speaks German. And we have Bernardino Vasquez taking care of Latin America and Central America. He is a native Spanish speaker. Then there's me, Martta Kivelä, taking care of Italy and North America with Kalle. I mainly concentrate on the West Coast and few other customers in other parts of North America. Our emails are first name, last name, and at crosswrap.com. Feel free to contact us, but we will also contact you after this webinar. We are just 3 minutes in to our due time, so we will go through your questions after the webinar and we will contact you. We will contact you as soon as we can, but feel free to book also an online meeting. We are happy to tell more if you want to know details to your production and your products. So from our end, thank you so much for joining. And then go ahead, Kalle, take it away, the rest.
No, I was just gonna say that, että kiitoksia minunkin puolestani. Oli oikein mukava, että pääsitte kaikki mukaan ja toivottavasti me voidaan palvella teitä jatkossa. Oikein paljon kiitoksia. Meaning that thank you a lot and it was we were proud that you were with us and we were happy to serve you.
Thank you to everybody. Have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and see you soon.
Thank you.